Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 22 of the Unpaid and Underrated podcast. Podcast for crew by crew and mocked relentlessly by other members of the crew. I am joined by Big Keith.
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy. Hi, how's everyone doing today?
Pretty damn good.
Oh, yeah, who's that? That's Big Tommy?
Some might refer to me as a stapler.
The stapler. I was trying not to do it. I was like, I wanted somebody else to bring it up first.
Killing the
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get to that and beat that dead horse into the ground on this episode. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I've listened to the backlog, and on episode 90, out of nowhere, Tanner goes, "Hi, how's everybody doing today?" And it was so out of place and weird. And I thought it was so funny.
Yeah. It's definitely hard if you like just randomly cherry pick an old one and you're not used to it. It could definitely all catches you off guard for sure.
The whole thing catches me off guard. Hey, there's Big Carp's forehead.
Forehead, that's a five head. Love you, buddy.
All right, let's start. What are you wearing? What do you got on? Anything cool?
I've got the deadlifter shirt on specifically because a lot of times I'll wear this shirt on Friday when I work out, and I have a variety of deadlifts I got to do tomorrow as I'm prepping for a strongman show in a couple weeks that I might do. I'm still deciding. Depending on how tomorrow goes, that'll dictate if I actually want to do the show or not, because I have to do some like fairly heavy, odd deadlifts that I'm not used to. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, the deadlifter. What about you there, Tommy?
I have got on the new Metalnomics zip up and also the new Crispy Boy shirt.
Nice.
Yes, sir. My love of beer and death metal all in one. Gotta love it.
Death metal. I've heard of that. I've got the chicken bake shirt going.
You do. I see that.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. I went to my barber today. Haven't seen her since I opened the new store. And she's like, "Oh, you must really be loving your new position. You're wearing a Costco shirt." And then I was like, "You might want to look closer." The shirt just doesn't land in Canada because we don't have chicken bakes, right?
Yeah,
So
that's funny. Is it just because like the design, like
it's the Costco logo.
I didn't even get that. I guess I don't know.
Keith.
I guess that's true. I don't know, man.
God damn it!
I fucking hate that shirt with a passion. I hate chicken bakes. Chicken bakes are the most. I don't things that I don't enjoy. I don't give enough attention to. But I guess I'm trying to like picture the Costco logo that I see.
It's literally on my shirt. It just says Costco instead of chicken bake.
I guess. That's funny. I would have never got that. That's you guys fucking
yeah. This is gonna be silly hawk stuff all over again, isn't it?
Damn it! I was like, I guess that makes sense because I'm like, I guess there's not really a chicken bake logo, is there? There's just the word chicken bake.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Interesting part about one of our segments.
That's gonna be so fuck. I'd preemptively just say fuck you to everybody that makes fun of me for that.
Living that hawk life. Yep. Was it Big Bowen today that said something like one of our segments where we ask if there's a shirt you regret not buying? He said now every time a drop happens, he looks and says, "Am I going to regret that if they ask me on my episodes?" Now he just buys everything.
That's wild.
Yeah, I forgot to track the name on that one, but that was pretty funny. I was like, yeah, we're doing our job over here. We're selling shirts for Massonomics.
My buddy, Jason, man who parks in gym, who's technically crew, but like not really. Like he's crew and he's in Discord. Well, no, he is crew and he is in Discord. He just doesn't really consume the podcast or anything. There's a long backstory of why he joined crew that I won't get into, but nonetheless, he's got his own podcast that he does, and he does a bunch of home gym content. But I don't know if he's actually making it or not, but I think he's going to make a stall mat t-shirt that just says stall mats. And I'm just like, I might buy that just because the irony of that, like that would be a purchase. And I'm like, if he doesn't make it, I think Tanner and Tommy should make some variation of it.
Let's do a grip shirt and do the stall mat, like the feel of it as the grip shirt. That would be very funny. Big thanks to Matt Horstel for inventing those.
Yeah, I still got a kick out of that. That when I reshared that on my gym's page, I got a fair amount of likes from like people that don't know what Massonomics is, and we're just kind of like, kind of found it amusing.
Yeah, because it's hilarious. It was invented by Matt Horstel to protect your gym floors.
Yep, 100%. That's where it's from.
Just what are you drinking over there? Did we already do that one? You
No,
crossed it
I've got
out.
a I did a pride I don't fucking because we spent a half hour making fun of me and the chicken bake. Waterloo peach, and very good.
What do you got over there, Tommy?
I've got a shock top, Belgian
Ooh.
White, and also a cherry popsicle C4 for the ride home. So,
Shock
Oh, is
top. You got
that
an orange for that shock top?
I should have asked Jake if he had one or not, but that's a rookie mistake on my part.
Yep. Yeah,
so
it just adds a little bit. Adds a little
Oh
bit.
yeah,
What's up?
you're recording in Jake and Naz's place? Like
yes
maybe
sir.
that's hysterical.
It's like the
Just
second home of Unpaid and Underrated. There's
it
been more
is.
podcasts recorded in that
There's
studio than ours.
there legit has been there's been two. I mean, because it was the one episode, but we can call it two guests recorded out of that house.
Yep.
And now you're that's great. So when we get the other guys on there, the rest of the team down the road, we'll have to make sure they record there too. I guess it just has to happen.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you get Jacob over in here, he's I think he's having dinner right now with his girlfriend, but
Oh no,
sure,
he's in the backlog. He's got to be crew a little bit longer. He's pretty new, so
he's fresh. He's very fresh.
we'll get him in there.
We
But no,
we forced him to sign up to come to Crew Falls, so
nice.
Speaking of horse stall mats, I mentioned last week that I left the Facebook group, that awful, awful Facebook group, only to find
Mhm.
out later that I have become a meme with my deadlifting gloves. So now I kind of regret leaving because like I'm seeing all the references in Discord and hearing how just like in that page now they constantly reference how to not damage your deadlifting gloves on your deadlift bar.
I mean that's been like a running. I mean I wouldn't say that that's solely you. There's been people making fun of lifting gloves and people that wear gloves, etc., for years and years. But that is funny if it you're refreshing people's mind.
My
That
terrible,
group
terrible joke.
That group pissed me off this morning. I opened up my phone and it was some douchebag with like
The
the most
sexist
sex.
remarks. Oh
Yeah,
my
I was like, what the
God.
fuck? And then, so then I shared. Then I kind of like lit him up. And then, god damn it, in Keith fashion, I had a typo that completely like changed the context of the statement, and I didn't catch it until like the end of the day. Um, fucking who was it? The fucking god damn it, I can't think of who it was. I know who it
Doesn't
was.
matter. Continue the story.
Yeah, he fucking DM'd me and he was like, I really hope that you edited that because it said sexiest instead of sexist post.
Nice.
And I was
Yep.
like, God damn it, it really did. And I did like look at
Now
it like,
you
what?
look like a dick.
Oh, and I was like, does he think I think he's sexy? Like no, because the context it's clear in the context that I was calling him a douchebag, but god damn it. One
I
fucking typo just made me look like a schmuck, but
it's always those types of stupid Facebook groups, and it's part of like why I don't do them anymore. So I
yeah.
like when I first joined Facebook, I joined like this bearded group, and what I always liked about it was just like dudes talking about how to take care of your beard. But then it always turns into just like beards for this candidate. And it turns into politics. So I left that fucking group.
oh,
And then my one buddy who I love, he runs a cigar group, which is actually like Canada wide. It's one of the biggest cigar groups. But there's always the dumb shit. And eventually, Morgan and I both left the group because she used to smoke cigars with me because it would always just be like the cigar girl of the month. And it would just be like a girl in a bikini smoking a cigar. And I'd be like, oh, because it's a dick, right? Like she's sexy because it's supposed to look like a phallic object. And they would delete our comments. But it's just like, what does this have to do with enjoying cigars? Like, grow up. You are 40-year-old men. Calm down. She's like 18. Like, relax, dude. So eventually, yeah, it's time to we gotta leave this world behind.
there's a little
Anyway, that's Joey's Facebook rant.
well, so the TikTok ban lasted about 30 seconds, but it's probably too political to really get into that. But
Oh, buddy, I've
I
I've
didn't.
had edging that lasted longer than that TikTok ban.
I think I commented on the Tanner's post that have had shits that have lasted longer than the TikTok ban.
Edging sessions that have lasted longer than
Yeah,
that. Like,
For sure.
what a joke.
For sure.
I thankfully never downloaded that, so I've got too much brain rot with Instagram. I don't need anything else.
I think I post on there like once or twice a year, and it's just like gets no traction, and it's just fucking toxic people on there. It's the worst of the social media.
I actually interestingly find it the opposite. I think my Instagram doom scrolling leads me to a lot more dumber people. Because TikTok, my algorithm, I've kind of the algorithm's a little better on TikTok. Like it tracks how long you last on something, where you look, all that kind of stuff. Whereas Instagram's just like, you follow a bodybuilder, therefore you like naked ladies, and there's just like nudity all over, and like I can't open Instagram at work anymore. Whereas like TikTok is so hard on that stuff that like you can open TikTok and just get like your stuff, like the stuff you want. So but I rarely post on TikTok. I don't even comment anymore because like yeah, it's full of it attracts the same people that everything else attracts. Bozos.
There's definitely a fair amount of those. So I watched a movie this week. It wasn't a great movie, but it made me think of you, Joey, because I know you know, if not a Fred Durst fan, you're at least very aware of him and his era of music. And so it was the movie's Y2K. So it's a cheesy horror movie that came out this year based on if Y2K actually happened and like all these electronic devices actually like banded together to like take out the human race. It was almost like it was maximum overdrive adjacent kind of, but like in like 1999 slash, like Christmas Eve 2000 or New Year's Eve 2000. So, our era when we were, 13, 14, whatever. So like I remember, I think I was 15. I was a freshman in high school during that. So it was kind of cool. It was actually the beginning of the movie was actually kind of neat because it was like very nostalgic and like before like the cheesy horror movie started, it was just like almost just like a teen comedy like based in 2000. And I was like, oh, it's actually like the attire and everything was kind of like on point, but then it just was a very, very bad, corny, horror movie. And I know you like stupid horror movies, or at least I know you like horror movies. I don't know about stupid horror movies, but anyway, there was without giving too many spoilers away, there was 50-year-old Fred Durst, I call him, he's got to be 50-ish, playing 25-year-old Fred Durst in 2000.
That's great.
It was, and it even had the who was his guitar the guitar player,
Wes Borland.
Yeah, Wes was in there, but I don't even if it was because Wes was kind of like zombified in the background, so like he didn't have any lines or anything. But I'm like, that's definitely who that is.
That sounds like Wes, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'll be in your movie, but I ain't saying shit.
I know you do your horror movie once a week thing. Give Y2K a shot. Not great. I think I gave it a 5 out of 10. But for the nostalgia aspect of being 2000 and then the Fred Durst scenes are just hysterical.
Did you watch Hundreds of Beavers?
No.
I'll add it to my IMDb, but please add it to your list. I'm putting it out there for now. We've talked about it privately with me, you, and Nate. And I think Nate...
Is it hundreds like H or like the number?
Number. Yeah, it's essentially an old style. Like I think it was made in 2022. It's a slapstick comedy about a guy who has to like survive in the frontier. But it's this.
Oh, it has really good ratings.
Yeah, because it's
7.7.
I have not laughed out loud. Like,
yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Scared my wife because we were watching it, and I started laughing so hard at like somebody falling down in years. And like, I don't think I've laughed that loud since Jackass. And I honestly said, I turned to Morgan and I was like, they tapped into my sense of humor perfectly. It's a clean movie. The kids can watch it. There's no swearing. There's like one like kind of sexy scene. But there's no nudity, but honestly,
the cigar was the dick, right?
Yeah. The cigar was the dick.
That was the sexy scene.
Yeah. But honestly, yeah, I'm putting that out there. If you like just stupid, silly, funny movies, definitely got to put that out there. Shaun of the Dead. I think Jackass 4 was after Shaun of the Dead, so I'll give you that one, Garb. But yeah, that's movie talk for the day. What's next?
Let's do some housekeeping. Last week's Massonomics episode was the John Hack episode. Don't remember a ton about it. He did talk about. I liked all the strongman talk. When he actually like kind of recapped his strongman stuff. Always a big strongman guy, John Hack. Literally, it's crazy that he's like literally the like one of the best, if not the best, untested lifter that he's dabbling in strongman. That like it kind of just shows that like even elite level powerlifters get fucking bored of powerlifting and want to dabble in strongman because it's different and cool and still strength related. So that was probably my favorite part in it. So I will go ahead and give it 5 out of 5 Maxonomics Gym iPod touches.
Tommy, what'd you think?
I'd agree. I always enjoy when John's on the podcast with them. I don't remember if he did his Brandon Dassey impersonation like he usually does, but other than that, No, always enjoyable to hear John talk, and like Keith said, hearing him talk about his dabbling in strongman and all that, it's always fun. So, of course, Tanner and Tommy always make things enjoyable to listen to. So, 5 out of 5. Massonomics, Jesus, I can't talk tonight. iPod touches. There we
There
go.
you go.
I did comment in the Discord about, so I listened to it at 1.25. I do the back catalog at 1.5 and I do the regular ones at 1.25 just because I ain't got the time to listen to slow talkers. And yeah, so you're listening to the back catalog, like the first 80 to 90 episodes. Everybody talks about somebody in the podcast sounding like Beavis or Butthead.
Yeah. I always forget if it is Beavis or Butthead.
John Hack sounded to me exactly like Butthead. It was at 1.25 genuinely fucking hilarious to listen to him be like, yeah, so like, and I was like, this is Butthead to a T. Yeah, the strongman stuff is fun because I've the running joke is every strongman could be a powerlifter, but not every powerlifter could be a strongman.
That's true, probably.
Right.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of strongmen that like would not want to power lift, but they could probably
one rep max can fuck right off in my life right now, so I can kind of see. It was just nice to hear that and how he did that, and yeah. So I know there was another one. There's something Tommy said that really got me laughing, but I don't remember quite what it was. So
I need to do better at taking notes on them.
I'm driving when I listen, so like I can't.
Well, I listened to the last night's episode for like 45 minutes too, so like that's the only thing that's fresh in my head for Massonomics. So
that's why I don't do that anymore.
That always like throws me. Well, it was the first time because they've been copying us obviously, so they've been recording on Thursdays like every other week. So it's like I only get to listen to it every so often.
Well, and they did hit him with overrated, underrated.
Yeah, I did comment. I was actually waiting to see if we get any feedback on that from Tanner of like, you guys called us out, blah blah.
No, they just haven't had guests. So I'll give that episode 5 out of 5 unpaid and underrateds. We got a new big drop today too.
There was.
Yep, another box ET. I'm gonna wait to see if they have it at the Arnold before I buy it, because if I buy it now, it won't be here till I leave for the Arnold. So fucking.
Yeah. I mean, your mail is back up and running. Have you? So how'd that? Well, was it the whole postal service that just you didn't like actually get like letters to your house for like 3 months? Is that what actually?
Yeah. The Canada Post essentially is a crown corporation, so they are independently owned, but they are a for-profit organization here in Canada. So they're independently owned, but they answer to the government, kind of, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like the worst part of socialism and the worst part of capitalism, like all tied together, not to get political. But yeah, they essentially went on strike, and the only thing they delivered were like they would take time from their strike to deliver like disability checks and welfare checks and things like that, just to make sure people can fucking live, right? Yeah. Like they're not cold-hearted. So no, the cool part is I could have paid extra customs to have my certification show up faster, because I think Cam did that. He paid customs fees plus delivery fees, and I was like, I'm not paying.
Fuck that.
I was like, I'm not paying $40 extra. I'll wait. I still paid $20 in customs. Now I'm extra mad because it's like, well, if I knew I was going to pay that anyway, I would have paid the extra to have it when everybody else got theirs. I just got it yesterday, and I was in the first round of purchases.
Oh wow, that was literally like 9 weeks ago or something.
Yeah,
that was maybe not 9. That was several. I mean, that was at least it was a fucking minute ago.
So it was right around Crew Falls, just after I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that happened. But yeah, I'm gonna wait on the new drop to see if I can buy it at the Arnold, like I said. So.
Gotcha.
Tanner, save me a shirt, or don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some pretty cool stuff there. I didn't pull the trigger on anything yet. I'm still kind of mulling that over, but it's, as always, the crew comes in clutch, and shit sells out so quick, or depletes his stock pretty good. So they're doing good with that.
Did you pick anything up, Tommy?
Nah, I'm gonna wait till the Arnold, like you guys, or like you are, Joey. I did kind of think about it because I tore a hole in my my lifting department tee squatting last week. So, but it's like, do I really need another T-shirt? And as of right now,
was it the knurling on the bar, or were your fucking lats just so wide that you just fucking tore right through?
But no, like the gym that I train at, one of the gyms that I train at, they have the Rogue squat bar, and the thing's knurled the whole.
Yeah, it's the whole way, right? Yeah, it's stainless steel stuff, I believe. So it's like it's not going to get all, it's going to be sharp as shit for a rope.
Yeah, and the bar rolled up my back a little bit because shit happens, and then I had a hole in my shirt, and I was kind of pissed about that. So
just gotta squat lighter, man.
Yeah,
that way you don't wreck your shirts.
Oh, I'm out of beer. Darn.
All right. I got a bit of a mail call here because despite Canada Post going on strike, I still got mine before you got yours.
Yeah, it's showing up.
So this is actually the one from Big Quinn. I won't dox or anything, but it has his name on it, so I'm actually sure of what's coming in this time. And it says Merry Christmas, and it has Santa holding a boombox. It feels thick, like there's something in there. And it says Forever and Ever. Merry Christmas from Big Quinn, Big Daniel, Big Wyatt, and Big Watson. So thank you, Quinn. Merry Christmas to you, buddy. That's it. That was just a card.
Gotcha. That's good stuff. So it wasn't a glitter bomb, or it was a glitter bomb.
You fucking ruined it. It was a glitter bomb, but the trigger broke during delivery.
Yeah.
So it didn't go off.
Good to hear.
When I first picked it up, like I wasn't gonna say anything. I just wanted Quinn to listen and be like, "What? Something was supposed to happen."
That's funny.
But like I started feeling the package, and I turned to Morgan and I was like,
"Yeah, you did." I
was like, "I need you to open this over the garbage because Quinn likes to mess with people. So open this over the garbage, and that way I don't get bombarded with whatever's in there." And she opened it. She's like, "It was a glitter bomb, but it broke." And then I was like, "Oh, that's so much funnier. I'm just gonna not say anything. Like it didn't work." But
should
then
have told me that.
I literally told you that through text message, and now I'm getting glitter on me. Fuck.
That makes it
I
so
broke
much
it.
better.
I did. I said I'm not gonna bring it up. I'm gonna pretend like it just was a card. Oh, Keith.
It's probably in there.
Yeah,
I'm glad I didn't get one because if I had a glitter bomb, it would have ruined my evening and like not in a funny manner. So I think Quinn said he sent me one, but it never showed up. So it must be lost in the vast state of New York that it is. So
it's taking so long to get across the giant state of New York.
Absolutely. So you get that mail call. I'm gonna check the IG poll real quick. I threw that up today for shits and giggles. Who likes your content the most? Chris, Daminger, Chad, or Gary? And I think Gary was pulling away. So I don't know if anyone has any thoughts on that, if their personal opinions on who they think they see in their inbox the most.
It's definitely Gary, and I fucking love you for it, buddy. Thank you.
I do get a lot of Gary. I mean, I'm not saying that Gary's not there. I still don't know if you look at it as a cumulative effect of like Chris Daminger has been liking my shit for like 4 years every single day, like 80% of what I post. And then Chad has probably been at that same ratio for the past 2 years. And then Gary came on maybe the last 6 months to a year or so. And he likes as much or more as they do. I just don't feel that he's, in my heart, Gary, you haven't earned it yet because you haven't put in enough time, son. But technically, if you went the last 6 months and did a poll, you probably are the winner. But for me, I gotta give it to, I don't know. Got to give it to Daminger probably for my personal, Chris has been a very loyal friend over the years and likes damn near everything I post. I just thought that was funny. And obviously, I don't think anyone voted for their significant others because no one will like your shit more than Crew, not even your wife.
Yeah, my wife doesn't like any of my.
Exactly. So that is about that. Did we touch on the YouTube video at all that came out today?
On Jack's home gym tour?
Yeah, that was pretty. It was a micro home gym tour, so we can keep a micro review on it. Tanner explicitly said multiple times, like, this isn't really where he trains. This isn't really how I would set it up if I was training here. It's solely for Jack. Blah blah blah. I was like, I get it. I think there'd be a lot better, different stuff you could do, but I think I think they got the Hanzo rack for free or got a really good deal on it. So it's like he already had a combo rack, so it's not like he had to go buy something or anything. Like I would have put a small power rack or squat, Tanner's favorite squat stands of some sort in there, but the combo rack works, I guess.
I would move that blue chair and put the weight tree there. That's what I would do.
A weight tree of some sort, but
yeah, because that chair literally was a drink holder. Like it was a drink spotter for that entire video feel like we don't need that chair and you could just put your weight tree there. But that was just me.
The one thing I would comment on is you could tell he was keeping it such a modest gym, and I think the real reason Tanner kept the home gym so modest is he can feel Jack catching up to him, and he doesn't want Jack to whoop him at that 40-yard dash, whatever the run they do annually is. So I think he's trying to keep Jack down a little bit more.
I didn't realize Tanner was here.
So
he's just the chair ties the room together. Damn it!
Oh, that broke me. Good stuff. All right, so yeah, once Tanner really wants to support Jack and his athletic journey, maybe that home gym will expand a little bit. But no, I thought it was always good content. I always like to see, anything they do is pretty well. So that wraps up the majority of our general topics. Tommy, is there anything we missed in the powerlifting world or Instagram or in the lifting community that you caught that we didn't touch base on, bud, before we move on?
Honestly, no, at least not to my knowledge. I really try not to pay attention to it as much as possible these days. Find myself being a little bit happier that way and trying to not be on my phone as much.
I feel that. All right. Then do you have a sponsor read for us you want to hit us with for Massonomics?
Sure. Well, oh shoot, I left I had it written out, but I must have left it. Oh shit. Well,
do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
You know him pretty well. It'll be easy for you.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're ever looking for a podcast where you're not getting, investment advice or dating advice, the Massonomics podcast is the way to go. You get two good guys out of the good old Dakota Plains, representing the Midwest and even Ohio. So if you're looking for quality shirts, quality shorts, especially the shorts, and the drink spotter safety, because you can never ever be lacking on Jesus, I can't talk tonight. Drink safety. Head on over to Massonomics Podcast. You can sign up to the supporting membership, or just come over and have a silly goose time.
I dig it. We can make that work.
If anybody knows anything about safety, it's our guests. So let's get them on the horn.
Absolutely. So we really do have a bunch of people we got to kick out. This chat that we've never had a group. We've never had more than one comment, and I've got 30 fucking comments on the side of my computer right now that I'm trying to I don't know how they do it. When they're actually somewhat keeping up on the Discord comments while recording and not getting completely distracted, because I just went down a rabbit hole trying to catch up on 7 of Tanner's messages. I'm
that used to be one of my favorite things, was to try and make them break during recording.
Yeah. Well, and when the shoes on this fucking foot, it's not as much fun. God damn it.
Yep. Yeah, you get what you put out, right?
Yep.
All right, Big Tommy, is that you?
It is indeed.
Hey, welcome to Unpaid and Underrated. It's like you've been here the whole time.
Only for 30 minutes or so, it seems like.
So let's jump into your Massonomics journey first. That's kind of where we start with people. What brought you to Massonomics?
So it's a funny story. When I first started powerlifting, I met a kid at the University of Wisconsin Eau Claire at the meet that I did, and he made a Massonomics versus of me versus a Tommy gun. And I asked him, what the hell is this? This is hilarious. He goes, oh, it's Massonomics. And I think that was in 2017 or 18. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I've been following ever since. And what's really funny is I didn't even know they had a podcast until 2019, 2020.
Yeah, that's how it starts.
Yeah, I literally just thought they were an Instagram meme account. And I enjoyed it, posted and just laughed at it. It's I think Joe Sullivan said it best. You look at something, you see it, and you kind of snort, and you're like, oh, that was funny. So, yeah, that's been my Massonomics journey.
Okay, so that was quite some time ago. Where are you in the Hall of Fame?
I am, I think this will be my 14th achievement.
Yes.
So, hey, dope.
And by the time
we get a log jam at 14.
Yeah.
By the time Lift Hard, Live Easy comes around, I should have a jacket. So
that's awesome, dude. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be pretty fun. So
can't wait for you to put Big Jin's jacket on.
Or
Matthias's, whichever it was. Yeah.
So I feel like I saw you pretty recently, and did you cut your hair?
Yeah, I cut about 18 months of commitment off my head about 3 weeks ago. So
Yeah.
it's a long time coming, and I instantly felt relief the second my barber like just took the razor to it. So
I feel that.
No, you don't.
No, when I have like 3 weeks of hair growth and I cut it down to this, I'm like, oh, it is literal therapy for me to like go from having like a chia pet on my head to fucking like being bald again. It makes me so happy.
I don't go past 3 days now. The moment I can start to feel hair, I'm just like, get the fuck off me.
Yeah,
of course, I don't have your sexy hairline, so like, I obviously couldn't get through that. Yeah,
I broke my family curse.
Clark Kent over here.
Yeah, I always joked that my biggest goal in life was to beat my dad with the hairline. My dad started going bald at like 28, 29, and I just recently turned 30.
Nice.
So
got him.
Got a full head of hair, and yeah, that's one thing I got on him in life so far.
Nice. Isn't your hair genetics your mom's like males on your mom's side though, right?
Yeah.
I honestly don't know if that's like 100% true or not. Like
you might, but it is at least something I as a kid. That's what I was told my whole my whole childhood. I think that's what I was.
Yeah,
told.
like you hear one story or the other, and it's like, what do you believe? But my grandpa on my mom's side is also bald, just like my grandpa on my dad's side was. So, but all my uncles have a full head of hair. It's weird. So maybe I just got lucky.
My dad had a head full of hair, but my grandpa on my mom's side didn't. So like, anecdotal evidence would show I got his hairline. It started running away from me. My hair ran away from my face starting at like 22. Like that's when it just started like running. And then I just held on to it for so long. And I think like even Keith commented the other day when I was just like, God, shaving my head was such a smart idea. And Keith was like, yes,
you did a picture where it was like, you had the big Ryan haircut where it was just like, just the sides.
Yeah. Well, no, I still had hair here.
Oh,
and that was about it. I could still rock a decent like mohawk. And I've thought about it, but at the same time, I don't want hair on my head. That sounds like work. Well, as Tommy can attest.
Yeah.
If the listeners want to see your full head of hair, Tommy, where are they going to find you on Instagram, buddy?
You're going to find me at Tommy_Schneider22.
Are you sure it wasn't? Oh, that would throw me off. So it's not Tommy. I thought you were going to hit us with the Tommy _D, or was it Tomahawk D, whatever the fuck. I just butchered
Mr. Ohawk.
Yeah, Ohawk. Yeah, good stuff. So you're out there in Minnesota. Is that been home forever, or is that just home now? Or
it's been home for all 30 years of my life.
Nice.
I thought about moving a few years ago, but here we are still. So,
if I was in Minnesota, I probably wouldn't leave Minnesota. I've enjoyed every minute I've been in there.
Minnesota's a good time if you like doing outdoorsy stuff. So
I guess I've only been there for the airport so far. I'll drive through it this year though, because we're flying into. I've flown into MSP multiple times, but I've never driven in or out of MSP. It's always been a flight, but we're driving out of MSP this year, so I'll catch some bit of Minnesota before we hit the border.
Our wonderful countryside.
There's a great town in between. I think I can't remember the name of it. It might start with a W, but that place is fucking gorgeous. Or I might be thinking of Madison, Wisconsin. Would I have gone through Wisconsin?
Are you literally talking about fucking Wisconsin again?
Would I have gone through Wisconsin to go to South Dakota?
Yes, we've talked about your journey through Madison, Wisconsin so many times.
Yeah.
Like 4 separate times. And how
Madison, Wisconsin's great, but also so is Minnesota.
College town. Oh, okay.
Madison's really nice. I like Milwaukee a little bit better personally.
So you must have a pretty low supporting membership number. I'm going to guess that it's, well, I guess you tell us, because like if you joined the time you started listening to the podcast, that'd be one thing. But if you joined more recently, you could be way off. So what is your number?
I joined in 2022. So,
okay.
You're gonna hate me for this too, but
mid 100s. No, you're good. I like ballpark it. I would. 2022. I was 2021. I think so. Yeah, I'd say you're in the mid to upper hundreds, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 47, and I joined in August of 2021.
If I had to guess, I'm probably around like 100, 120, something like that.
Well, it's yeah. So an episode or supporting member 100-ish.
Yeah, there we
Works
go.
for me. Well, I'm gonna hit you with a little game here because it'll segue into a fair amount of conversation. So, you
Fun
familiar
stuff.
with least fun, most fun? I'm gonna give you a topic, and then you can, you can ramble about it as much as you want. But at the end of the day, I want a stern answer of the least fun thing about it and the most fun thing about it, and then we can have a bunch of dialogue in between. But least fun, most fun, competing in the USAPL.
Oh boy. Oh
And
God. Okay.
this should tie into Minnesota too. I was
Okay.
saving this for the.
So um I've only ever competed USAPL,
I've
and
heard.
USAPL it's always done right by me in terms of like enjoying the meets and like meat production, minus maybe one meet, but neither here nor there. So I'd have to say it's most fun just because like it's all that I know. But I will say, like, from watching like Lift Hard, Live Easy, or going to the Showdown meet down in Kansas City a couple years ago, it's like, damn, these, some of these untested meets are just, meets like that they look like a lot of fun, and they just look like it. I remember there was an analogy with it where it's like USAPL is NASCAR and the USPA is Formula One, and that's like, so it's like,
I would say that's completely the other way around, but yeah, I get where you're going with that.
yeah, I don't know how to properly like put it into words, but I'd say competing in the USAPL probably most fun at this point. But who knows? I'm
What's
making
the
my hard leave easy debut in
So maybe I might have butchered explaining. So least fun, most fun. Like I need like a one specific thing that is the best thing about USAPL,
oh
and then one thing that is the worst thing about USAPL. Sorry,
oh
it's not
Jesus, I'm
it's not
sorry.
a either other.
Either
It's
or.
yeah,
Okay.
no, it's not that.
Oh, I misinterpreted. That's my
Yeah,
bad. My
my bad,
bad.
buddy.
All right. So most fun with USAPL. Well, one, since I've been competing in it for so long, whenever I go to a meet, I see a lot of people that I've met throughout the years of competing. And some of them, they live in different parts of Minnesota. Some can live up in Duluth, some can live down in like Marshall, Minnesota. So they could be 4 to 5 hours away from me. So with most things like strength sport related, I'd say the funnest part about it is being able to meet new people or meet up with people that you've been friends with for years and you've grown within the sport.
Good deal.
And least fun, sometimes I feel like the USAPL can just have rules for the sake of having rules,
Yeah.
and it can be really sticklerish with it. And it's just at that point, I'm like, well, that's kind of dumb. I'll follow it, but it's still kind of dumb.
Yeah.
So
Did losing the IPF affiliation affect your, commitment or desire to be in USAPL whatsoever?
absolutely not.
I didn't think it did, and it really doesn't for like 98% or 99.7% of lifters because no one cares. Like less than a percentage of people are going to go across the pond to compete at fucking Worlds. So
yeah
it's just
I go to Belarus to lift weights.
yeah. So it's not really that important.
in Belarus the weights lift you. Um, yeah, USAPL is all that you know, but lifting and drinking is all that I know. So at the Lift Hard Live Easy, are you competing or are you
I
safety?
I will be making my non USAPL debut at
Nice.
the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic.
Hell yeah.
Love it. Hey,
I wanted to do it last year, but I was debating doing nationals for the USAPL, and I'm like, well, do I really want to spend this much money to go to Utah? And I'm like, nah. Then by at that point, I'm like, I'll just spot load.
nice.
Yeah, do they have that like rule where you can't compete anywhere else?
No,
Oh,
USA.
okay.
Yeah, the USAPL after they left the IPF and they have like next they have no affiliation with it. It's not like if I competed in a untested Fed, I get banned from competing in powerlifting America
Yeah,
Okay.
or
Powerlifting
banned from
America would fuck
competing.
you over, but
Yep.
USAPL doesn't because
Okay. I was just
it's
wondering.
local level.
I find it hard to track all of these feds because,
Yeah.
the one thing
There's a new
powerlifting
one every
needs
month.
is more feds. Yeah.
There's a couple.
Oh yeah.
Who else on your crew is competing? I know a handful of guys. I know Nas was. Are you going to leave enough guys not competing to actually help spot and load?
I think it's just me and Big Nas at this point.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I know Ronnie or Big Diet Tanner. He was looking at doing the strongman, but he didn't get in. So
I love that.
You guys have way more nicknames than any of us. It's hilarious.
Oh, there's like 3 or 4 you can rip off at any time with any of us. It's hilarious.
So obviously, we've been dodging it this whole time. And, Tanner wants to make sure we ask, and I'm sure Nate just joined us. He wants us to ask. What was your reaction? To me, one of the funniest Massonomics moments of the past year was when Mr. Ohawk, Tommy DeFay, said, Tommy Schneider is Rob Schneider. And it broke Tanner to the point that he was gasping for air. And I know that I also broke pretty hard on that one. I corpsed very hard on that. What was your reaction to that? And how do you feel about being called the Stapler?
I haven't laughed that hard at something in such a long time. I was actually at work. Big Jake Christensen and we worked together, and I was putting together a pallet, and I just all of a sudden hear Tanner break with the wheeze, and Tommy sitting there with the hoo 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 laugh background. And I just bent over, just laughing. I could not stop laughing, and Jake's looking at me like I'm just insane. And I gotta say, I've been getting the Rob Schneider jokes majority of my life actually, but this is the funniest it's ever been, and I absolutely love it. I love that it's kind of almost a known thing, but its own meme within the Massonomics lore. So I couldn't be happier with it. I think it's awesome.
It's great.
It was really funny. Now, I hear you're a deck builder.
Yeah. So where I work, we build a bunch of aluminum decking that you see on a bunch of the apartment complexes that are coming up and around cities, suburbs, all of those. So I help run the production line and maintain the flow of material to and from paint and to our prep team. So
and you're forklift certified.
I am indeed. I got 100% on my retake. So
do you ever say to yourself as you're climbing into a forklift, Tommy Schneider is a forklift? Do you ever make that joke to yourself when you're doing something?
Yeah, I do. You just can't not.
Right? I would too. I absolutely would.
Tommy
sit there giggling to yourself.
When did that episode come out? That had to be early 2000s, or am I way off?
I think it was right after, or it was right before they went to the Arnold, because I remember Nas.
The South
Park episode.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, no.
Aren't they on episode 6,000? Who knows that kind of thing?
But I mean, yeah, it had to have been.
I think it was early 2000. It was either 2002 or 2003. I think.
Okay, so yeah,
that's when they had just killed off Kenny permanently for the season, and then he just magically comes back at the end. So.
Oh, that was funny. Yeah. I was thinking about that. Do you guys remember the movie Beer Fest?
Yes.
Right? Do you remember? Do you remember
the boot
when Farva's character, he's from Farva.
Super Troopers.
I know.
Yeah, he's Farva from Super Troopers. He's Heffernan is his real name. His character dies and then comes back as a twin and asks to be called his regular name. I made so many TikTok jokes about that where I was just like, that's what TikTok did. It was I'd appreciate it if you would also call me. Anyway.
So many people's videos just didn't age well because they made all right, mocking TikTok because it was gone forever, and then it literally was back 2 hours later. So
it was
people wasted so much
funny.
time.
Oh yeah. They made confessions about how
that didn't age well.
Yeah, it was the Family Guy episode, right before they die. And she's or Lois goes, Peter, do you not want to be here with us? And he's like, well, I do. I love you. I just hate the kids. And then it's April Fools. So many fucking dummy influencers did that where they were just I don't actually care about this kind of stuff. I was just doing it for likes. And then TikTok was back and they were uh-oh. Hi, followers. I made a mistake. Anyway.
On that vein, I actually just saw a clip from Family Guy where they're all in the it's the one where the burglars come into their house and they all go in the safety attic and they're about to drown. And Peter admit his confession is he didn't like The Godfather. Yeah. And they're all just how?
Yeah, that's every conversation with Keith about movies, by the way. Yeah, right. Whoa. Who called you little calves? Who wants to fight?
I saw that.
That could be anyone. I
Nice.
am not blessed in the calf department at all.
Don't you have like an
It's
over
gotta make it.
600-pound squat?
It's
Like,
gotta make
Yeah,
it
it
super
makes no
easy to put.
sense. I'm
It's
built
gotta
like a
make it
burrito
super easy to
chip.
put knee sleeves on, though. Are you in like a medium knee sleeve?
No, I actually wear this. I wear a 3XL in the Pioneer sleeves.
I heard
So
those run tiny though too, though,
yeah,
right?
so that's
So
a
big
large in
deal.
most
yeah,
people's
it's like a large
sleeves.
STD.
Uh,
Good deal.
I actually just tried on a pair of 2XL Ergos from Inzer, and those things were falling down my legs. So
Wow.
yeah, I'm like,
Nice.
oh, this is stupid. So
So what does your lifting history look like? As far as we obviously know you've been powerlifting for a while, but you lift in high school, did you lift for sports? What led you to your first meet, and did you gym bro it out for a while? I heard specifically that you wanted to be I mean, this also might be someone busting your balls, but was there a time you wanted to be a gym shark pretty boy, but ended up powerlifting?
yeah, the college days. But no, I started lifting when I was 13. So I've been lifting for 17 years. I just started at a local gym in Hastings, my hometown, and kind of just dicked around with it for a couple years. Lifted for football and baseball, but honestly, I really just bench pressed in high school, and
Because one
which is
does.
funny because now it's like my worst lift. But um, yeah, then I went to college, and I wanted to be Jim
So-
Shark pretty, as I put it, but
Oh,
just
it did say that. Okay.
and I got into powerlifting because of my sister. My sister competed or has been competing since about 2013,
Well, that's awesome.
2014. So her and her husband they played a big influence in me getting into powerlifting because through them, just looking things up, I came across like Pete Rubish, Ben Pollock, Dan Green, obviously. So that was kind of my introduction to powerlifting, and I didn't really jump into it until I was about 23. So
Okay. And then as far as the Minnesota Department of Lifter Safety, that obviously came once you kind of because you're how many of you guys actually live like because you train in Jake's garage gym, and I've seen there's up to Jesus, is there 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 of you there at a time or sometimes?
sometimes I usually just train at like a regular gym. I just because scheduling sometimes doesn't line up for me to make it to Jake's house. I live about
Mm.
5 minutes from him, so
How far?
um, but yeah, I think there's probably about 10 guys that are the set, like it seems, that are kind of like set, and then like there's reserves or people that like, work their way in, or however that happens. I don't know. I'm not involved in the inner workings of that. I just
Mm.
get asked if I want to show up and help out, and if it works, I'll say yeah, sure.
Sweet. Good deal.
Okay, so least fun, most fun.
Uh-oh.
Circus barbecue sauce in your gym bag.
Yes, that broke yet. You literally, you did, yeah. Tell everyone the story there, because what is? Did you say that in Discord or where? What?
He was on the Massnomics podcast.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
call it
You did. Yeah, you
episode.
told him on the call-in episode that you left it in your fucking gym bag for like.
Yeah.
Your buddy got you a chalk or something out of your bag, and he was like, "Why the fuck are your? Why is the barbecue sauce here?"
Yeah, why do you have wing sauce in your bag, dumbass? Like,
That's right.
so
I knew I heard
the
that somewhere.
the most fun about the circus wing sauce was obviously going to Crew Falls and winning it, so it can be in my gym bag. But I guess the most fun part about it is the memory of it when I look at it, which it's not in my gym bag anymore. I took it out. I took it out
Nice.
because the least fun part of it was the when I realized it was still in there. It's like, oh, this could break, and I could have barbecue sauce all over my lifting equipment, and that would not be a good time.
Or counterpoint, the best time. Some people like to use baby powder for their deadlifts. Maybe we
I
just
use
all start
barbecue
using
sauce.
barbecue sauce.
That would
Right.
be interesting.
That would be disgusting, Keith. That would
Yeah,
be
no.
the smell alone, at least, especially in the Odde Ice Arena, the Odde Hot Arena.
Oh God, that would have been terrible.
Nice. Well done. You got me there. That's actually a good episode title, the Odde Hot Arena. That's good shit. How was that? Like, so it was bad enough competing, um, and just being there all day, spotting and loading. You worked harder than anybody else. Like, so you're putting in a fucking 10-hour day of moving shit. Yeah, I don't know. Nas was like basically topless the whole fucking time. I know you did. I don't think you did that, but
Nah, Nas likes to let the belly breathe.
yeah. So topless adjacent. How was that? How would you rate? Was that the hottest venue you've had to spot and load at?
No,
Oh wow.
the hottest that I've ever had to deal with, and this wasn't even, well, as maybe for spotting and loading, yeah, it'd be the hottest. But in terms of like the hottest one I've been at for a meet, that would be that would have been at the Twin Cities Open meet in 2019 here in Minnesota. That was terrible. Oh, it was awful.
It was inside? Like
yeah, they didn't have no air conditioning, nothing. It was fucking terrible. But
I didn't think anyone could top that. That's wild, yeah.
The Odde Ice Arena, what was nice about it is the fact that we had especially the first year, we had such a big group of people that wanted to come out and do the meet and have fun, that we could cycle through everybody, you know? So it's like, oh, hey, you need a break? Yeah, sure. If you could pop in for me on this, that'd be awesome. So we kept each other cool that way, but I'd give it like a 8 out, like probably a 9 out of 10 experience of how hot it was.
Good deal. So either way this year, well, competing, you've got to be excited about the temperature controlled then, because that's gonna just, I'm excited about that for sure.
Also, one thing that definitely did help with the ice arena, this is also kind of a funny story. My buddy Arion and I were sitting in the chairs after we, took a break, and I'm like, a beer sounds really freaking good right now. And he goes,
a lot of that going around.
And I said, well, I don't think Tanner and Tommy or Dave would appreciate if we're drinking while we're spotting and loading. And then Tanner and Tommy walked by with a beer, and I'm like, fuck it.
Because lifting and drinking is all that we know. Yeah,
exactly.
That's nice.
That is pretty funny.
My favorite thing right here that I see under your hobbies is, I mean, obviously it's your buddies busting your chops again, but fearing women is listed as one of your favorite hobbies, my friend. Is that and there are multiple comments throughout you're not necessarily a fear, but there's
women do be scary.
Yeah.
That has to be Noah or Nas or Vanessa.
And we also see that you have a proclivity towards emo and goth girls.
Who doesn't? Relax over there.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's a thing.
That's not even 100% true. It's just the memes are funny, and I share them with the boys all the time.
But, I mean, you are the memes that you share.
This goes in levels, right? Like there's muscle mommies, goth muscle mommies, and then there's Rhea Ripley, who's like the boss of all the goth mommies.
Oh, she's so much fun to watch. I'm a big pro wrestling fan, so.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Oh, hell yeah, brother.
Oh, don't worry. It's the favorite thing of the unpaid and underrated audience is they love how much we talk about wrestling.
And did you see the comment that Big Jeff had made in one of our private servers? And I think I shared it on on Instagram. He said, 0 weeks without chicken parm talk. Chicken parm's becoming the new wrestling. It's like, that had me fucking rolling when I read that. I was like, you fucker. That was great.
Counterpoint or side note, I'm fucking so mad about how much glitter fell out of that card right now. Like my socks are covered in it. Brief story. I might have shared this before. I did a social media break a while ago, and it was about the time that the social media glitter beards got really popular, and people just kept sending me glitter beards. Like, you should do glitter in your beard. It's Christmas. You should do glitter in your beard. It's Christmas. And I said, eventually, I was just like, fuck you. I'm not doing that. I said, but if you really want me to do it, you will raise $500 for my charity. Because at the time I was on the board for a local charity that fed kids. These fuckers raised $500 in like an hour.
Hell yeah.
And then I was like, okay, you pricks. I was like, double it and I'll wear an elf costume. 24 hours. Okay. We ended up getting like $2,000. We were able to actually support an entire new school where what we did is we used to give backpacks of food to kids to take home on the weekends because they were getting fed at school. But then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, these kids just didn't have food. So we would send like backpacks. And so we were able to get a whole new school in the neighborhood I grew up in. I'll tell you, we found glitter on my cat. 3 years later, like when we put her down, there was still glitter in her fur. I fucking hate glitter. So Quinn, thanks.
Yeah, I told my wife if a letter ever does show up from someone named Quinn, that we're just gonna throw it away.
No,
sorry, buddy, but I'm not opening that. Not in my,
open it outside.
Maybe, but then it still would like my cat's lives are more important to me. Than
it's this like it's the big plastic glitter, so it's not like
right to go in my cat's mouth and for it to fucking die. No, thank you. My cats would eat anything in the my cats would eat anything that they could fucking get their tongues on.
Anyway, sorry, that was a tangent. I'm just stepping in glitter and I'm mad about it. Like
it's understandable.
How did you ever find your ID that you lost in the middle of the airport in Orlando? And how that had to be a shitty experience.
Oh, that was a gut punch. Like that was not a good time. I was freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, they're not going to let me get on the plane now. And I don't know why I thought that, but yeah, I literally went through like almost all the way back to I went all the way back to TSA to see.
So to start, you did get through TSA and then you lost your license?
Yeah. Okay, so what happened was
that's better than losing it before TSA and missing your flight.
Yeah. So that was actually the second time I've ever flown. Well, first time full, like back and forth, but whatever. Yeah. But no, when I took my all my stuff out of my pockets and I put it in the bins, it must have just fell out of my wallet and. I got it back like 3 or 4 weeks later. I just ran, and I'm like, okay, that's
they just
cool.
mailed it. Someone mailed it to you.
Yeah, I don't know, but that was a 10 out of 10 bad time, man. Like, not fun.
Yeah, that's I had it. So it was. I want to say it was when I was going. It was either I don't know. It was either Crew Falls or Home Gym Con or something. I think it was my first trip alone. So I was like in line at TSA, and I had my license ready to go to show them. And then I kind of get distracted because the fucking TSA line was like, it was a half-hour wait basically. And then when I was getting closer, realized I didn't have my license. All I had was my phone and everything, nothing else. So I'm like, and I knew I had my license already, so I was freaking out because I was like calling my wife and I was like, see if it's like, I knew in the back of my head, like, I know it's not at the house, I know it's not in the car because I fucking had it in my hand a second ago. And then, so I'm like freaking out. I didn't want to get out of line because I'm gonna lose my spot. And then like literally within a minute of this, like I basically like had a huge panic attack for like a minute long, and then like a lady like 2 or 3 people behind me was like, "Sir, is this yours?" And just handed me my fucking license. So I had obviously dropped it somewhere in line, and like she found it and caught up to me. I was like, "Fucking thank you so much." So yeah,
rookie mistake.
Yeah,
yeah. My dad told me to have like a printed copy of it, like make a photocopy of it or whatever, just for like backup in case. And I'm like, I don't know if that'll work, but whatever. And I totally ignored him. And yeah. Well, that would have been a lot more like reassuring if I had like something like that, a second form of ID. I don't know.
What's so attractive about archery?
The staples.
What?
I don't know. I've just always found it to be like really cool and interesting. I like I think this also kind of goes back to with lifting and why I enjoy it so much is because it's very very individual. Like, it's just something that you get better at by practicing, and very, very few times does someone else like have like a big impact on why you can get better. I guess I just like to find like skills that I can learn myself or get better at through repetition. So I guess that would be why.
No, I get it. I actually was one of those things I enjoyed earlier in my years, but never pursued because like, goddamn, it's expensive.
Yeah. A bunch of the guys I work with are all outdoorsmen, and like they've told me numerous times, go here, go there to get a bow set up and you'll be good to go. But I just haven't pulled the trigger yet. So
outdoorsmen or survivalists? Because there's a difference.
Oh, God. One of them, I don't know what he rides the line between both. Like he like he hunts any and everything, and he'll
Hell
go
yeah.
out. Like he'll leave like for 2 weeks a year just to go out to Montana and hunt mule deer and all that stuff. So he's got a good time with that. But yeah, I'd say it's more just outdoorsmen than survivalists that I work with.
All right. I mean, Keith is clearly reading through the notes, so I'm going to go ahead and keep asking random questions.
No, I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
Oh,
I got two.
I got one specifically.
Yeah.
What's your problem with Taylor Swift?
I used to work at Menards, and I heard "Shake It Off" more times than I could count over that damn
Yeah, that
PA
would do it. Yep.
and it just drove me batshit. Like, because that's like when she like kind of was. I think that was like her first big pop hit when she went from country to pop.
Yep.
And it was that or Bad Blood. There was just a bunch of different of her songs that just blew up, and I heard them on repeat all the time working at Menards.
So it's nothing personal. It's just PTSD.
Nothing. Well, kind of both, but yeah, I just like is what it is. I don't really like her music to begin with, so just having to hear it on constant repeat like drove a wedge, I guess. It created Bad Blood.
Well,
that's your episode title, Keith.
Yeah.
Because that's a Taylor Swift song. Get it?
Unless it was a song she made 20 years ago, I wouldn't know the name of it because I don't follow her.
He said it in his explanation.
Probably. Somebody quotated Bad Blood. I don't. How the fuck am I supposed to know that that's what it meant? Like, oh. Taylor Swift. Very unpaid.
Very.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
you just lost Big Jess.
That's all right. She's flipping everybody off, so why not me? I was hysterical. I had to send her that meme that I made of her doing the double bird and saying like Big Matt exists, and then that's her reaction. And I guess she was like, I thought I offended her or Matt because like they didn't react to it on Discord, and and then I was talking to her about something else completely on Discord or on Instagram. I was like, did you ever see that? And she's like, no, my notifications are all fucked up. And I sent it to her, and she just started rolling. I was like, okay, cool. Got a kick out of that. So nonetheless, moving on from that, you're familiar with FMK? Give you a couple of topics, and you'll hit us with which one you want to fuck, marry, and kill.
Hell yeah!
So I've got two. I'm going to do one, and I'll probably circle back and do another one. I got two that I really wanted to do. So FMK, Harry Potter movies, Harry Potter books, Harry Potter video games.
Ooh.
Okay, so the easy kill in that is the video games because I never played them.
I figured it would be, but I really just wanted it between the top two. So
marry the books, fuck the movies.
Okay.
I love reading, so
it's fair.
Much prefer books to movies.
I figured that'd be a quick one. I figured that'd be a quick one. So I'm gonna hit you with one more a little more fitnessy related. It was submitted from somebody. I'm gonna switch it up to put a little different twist on it. So FMK, the ER combo rack, the Texas Strength System combo rack, and the Rogue combo rack.
Oh,
FMK. The other two submitted were Elite FTS and Ghost, but I figured you see those less often than the other two that I threw in there. So, but
I think the reason why Elite FTS and Ghost were is because up here in Minnesota, the Los Campeones that we were at Screw Falls.
Yeah.
Those are primarily like the combo racks you're going to see there.
Okay.
Minus a couple will have the Rogue, but can you go through it one more time? I lost my train of thought.
Well, if those are the ones you're going to be more familiar with, then I'll keep it the way it was. So let's go back to the original one as it was listed then. So ER, Elite FTS, Ghost. If you're more familiar with those three, you'll get a better answer than
I've listed up all of them, but I'll do the TSS and the Rogue one. I got a funnier story with those.
All right, that works. Those are the ones I'm personally more familiar with, so I'm glad we're gonna go with those.
So I would kill the TSS rack because I almost popped out on bench on it.
Okay.
Which
otherwise,
yeah, it's nothing against it. It's a great rack, but it's
the rack I'll probably end up buying if I ever get one because it's one of the few that's you can actually bolt to the ground, and if I put one in my basement, I'm gonna bolt it to the ground.
Right. But for me, like I almost bombed out on bench on it and just bad memories. So
that's trash.
I'll fuck the Rogue rack because I like the bench pad on that
Oh
one.
yeah, you're gonna bench. Like, I can definitely bench 10 more pounds on that than any other
Oh
fucking
yeah.
combo, like easily.
And since I have freaking orangutan arms, I'll take any advantage I can get on bench. So um then I would marry the ER rack
Yeah.
just because it's just tried, true, and
I do
consistent.
like. I really like. I would have bought an ER rack a long time ago if I had a way to like mount it to the ground without like making an extra bracket or some shit. Like if it just had a little flange off the side, I could tap on it to the ground. I would have bought it already because it is. I like how easy the face savers move up and down. There's like zero effort to them. It's just a nice, easy to use rack. Very much on the lightweight side. So as a
Yep.
spotter and loader, does it suck worse? I mean, I guess as long as it's got the good 2x4 in the front or the bracket, because like some people sell the bracket now with the logo and shit on it to keep it from like going too far forward. But like, it
Yep.
has to make a difference when someone's racking 600-700 pounds on the ER. It has to move a lot more than if they're doing it on a fucking rogue rack.
It's a lot. It seems like it's more sketchy, but you can. I've never had like from squatting in it myself and like spotting and loading. It might seem like it's a little more sketchy, but honestly, like you don't really think about it too much because you're like when you're spotting and loading, it's like okay, he's in. What's the next weight on the bar?
Mm-hmm.
So like it's not like for me at least. I don't know if like Jake, Nas, or Ronnie would have a different opinion on that. So
It's Diet Tanner for anyone who's not who familiar with who Ronnie is.
Uh,
that was my favorite thing I saw in the Discord after the first Live Hard, Live Easy.
yeah, and I think that Keith eating a little crow, not realizing he was in the Discord, was probably the
Facts.
funniest thing.
Facts.
Because Keith thought he was like being all subtle and subterfuge. And he was just like,
Absolutely.
look at this Diet Tanner. And then the guy fucking responded. And
He
I
changed his fucking handle too. He changed his
like,
fucking Discord handle.
I wish I had been in the room when he responded and Keith saw the message and was like, oh no. It would be like if that guy that looked like one of the Davids was in the Discord and we didn't know it. And like just how you would die.
I mean, he is. He's British David.
He is.
I think we were at the Airbnb when we saw that. We all we're all pretty tuned up at that point. But we saw that. We were rolling with laughter. It was a good time. That was really
that makes me happy. That was such I don't know. That was just been a blast. I'm glad you guys because you guys have known. I'm assuming because you guys did a lot of spotting and loading for Dave first, right? Or did you guys know Tanner? I'm trying to remember where the connection to get you guys out there was.
I think what happened is Ronnie or Diet Tanner talked to regular Tanner at the Arnold and mentioned that they were the spotter and loader crew for the USAPL meet that was happening.
Oh,
and
okay.
I don't remember if Tanner offered to let that or asked to spot and load lift hard, live easy, or if Ronnie asked or volunteered to do it or offered to. I genuinely don't recall.
Either way, that's still pretty cool though.
I have a quick FMK.
Do it.
Spotting and loading, bench, squat, and deadlift.
That's a good one.
Kill bench because it's god awfully boring.
Okay, but from a like lifter perspective, it's also god awful boring. Just so you know, it's the fucking worst part of any powerlifting meet.
The worst even still would be reffing it. So having to ref bench, if I had never had to ref a bench session again, I would die happy.
Mm-hmm.
Probably marry deadlift just because it doesn't seem like it's as much work to spot, but it's it's a little bit less work. And then I'd probably fuck squat just because there's a little bit of danger with it, I guess. I don't know. Someone drops a bar or something.
Did you see that one video where the guy dropped the bar off his back and the fucker zerkered it and it was like 500 pounds? And you're just like, first of all, fuck that lifter for doing that. Like you don't do
He walked off real nonchalantly, right?
Yeah, yeah, got you, see you, buddy. And this other guy's like holding this 500-pound. Yeah. Anyway, I thought that'd be interesting. I've always
were you spotting and loading this year when the kid fucking dumped the bar with like 600 pounds on it or some shit or 500 pounds?
At Lift Hard Leave.
Yeah. At Lift Hard Leave.
So
that one pissed me off a lot when that happened.
Yeah, I was side spotting on that one.
Yeah,
and
it was a really
what I remember from that is I went back and rewatched it on the live stream because the other platform didn't really know. So I think I showed one of the guys that was on the other platform. I think it was Ronnie. I'm not sure, but you can't really hear too much on the live stream for spotting and for the meet or spotting and loading, but you very clearly hear me yell, "Hey!" through when we catch the weight. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you don't fucking get out from under it, you fuck.
But we also
like
it's one of those things, and I kind of want to make sure that the next time I'm asked to MC a powerlifting competition, which I think will come up pretty soon, is that's going to be one of the things I think that needs to go in the rules conversation, because I don't think I've ever been told don't dump your squat. I don't think I've ever heard that.
Every meet.
Maybe it's just me then.
It's usually stay with the bar. Like don't don't leave your spotter and loaders hanging. So
that just might be one of those things where you're just like, by the way, like, and also that should come with a ban or a penalty or something. Like,
it's the meet director's discretion to kick him out. He should have probably been kicked out of the meet, but
yeah, like it was a second.
They let him come out and danger. Because that was a second, right? You had to spot and load it for his third, which I think he may or may not have made.
I don't remember. I think it was
maybe it was it. Maybe it was the last lift. Yeah. Well, maybe yeah, I might be mistaken on there, but I know he didn't get kicked out of the meet because I know he benched and deadlifted. So
well, either way, to all the meet directors listening, if somebody does that to your spotters and loaders, fucking walk them out. And make sure you make that clear in the rule book, in your Iron Podium or whatever Federation rule book. Like, you put people in danger, you're out, son.
Yeah, it's a good way to fucking blow a bicep muscle tendon.
Yep, absolutely. Well, that led to some interesting conversation.
Have you had more lifting related injuries, spotting and loading, or lifting?
I think the worst thing I've ever had from spotting and loading was actually at Lift Hard, Live Easy. You know how there's that pin on the ghost rack? Mm-hmm. I like jammed my thumb in it when I was trying to push the rack out because the guy had rack in. Definitely messed myself up more lifting than I have spotting and loading, for sure.
That's good. At least that's how it should be. Like it's a dangerous thing to do. So I'm glad you're not getting too fucked up spotting and loading. I have a very minimal experience doing it, and it was fucking miserable. And I did it at a fucking, I don't remember where they use 100-pound plates. So then I had to start fucking using hundos on all the deadlifts. I was like, this is fucking annoying. Like, these are so much worse than 45s. And I love the shittiest collars too.
I used my hundos for my deadlift yesterday, and I left them on. And I never leave my rack. I was just like, I'm so tired. I don't want to unrack these hundreds. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it was more convenient instead of loading multiple 45s. But then by the time I was exhausted with my AMRAPs or whatever I was doing, I was like, no, I'm not fucking doing that. Yeah. Don't use hundreds.
No, they suck.
Yeah. That's. I want to do a Mount Rushmore.
Sure.
Okay, Mount Rushmore. Yeah, the one we're not gonna talk about.
Yeah, don't do that. You can ask. You can DM Tommy. Specifically if you want to hear what his opinions on the.
I kind of do. Maybe we'll do that on the post show.
There you go.
So your Mount Rushmore. Let's do two because obviously this one comes up a lot and it's always interesting. Like these two are pretty similar for all crew. So Mount Rushmore wrestlers.
Number one is Eddie Guerrero.
Really?
I loved Eddie Guerrero as a kid, man.
Yeah.
I cried my eyes out when he died. Fun fact, or morbid fact, he died in Minnesota. Eddie Guerrero, Undertaker, Stone Cold, and I always struggle with this one, but I'd have to say Shawn Michaels.
Yep. Interestingly, I would have put him before most of the ones you said. Anybody from
the era I grew up with?
Of course. Anybody from the new era though? Are you still watching?
I still watch, not as consistently as I used to, but like what really kind of killed it for me a little bit was when AJ Styles got hurt, because I was a big TNA fan when I was a kid too. I just remember seeing it on TV in the the 6-sided ring.
Yeah,
I thought that was so freaking cool.
Yeah, the X Division and everything like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I said it before. I kind of fell off when Bray Wyatt went away.
Yeah, so Bray sucked.
Well, once he was fired, I stopped watching, and then I heard he was coming back, so I started watching. When he died, I stopped watching. But the new Netflix era, Penta's back. Penta's there now.
He's looking. They're presenting him so cool. Like
But did you watch the last Raw?
No, I didn't. I haven't gotten to it. I only saw the highlight. The Penta. I saw the Penta entrance, and that was about it.
So Penta wrestled Pete Dunne.
Yep.
I love Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
And I don't love Butch. I don't love whatever they've done with him for the past 2 years. When Pete Dunne came out as the bruiserweight and he would just like manipulate people's joints and hurt them, I was like, this dude is doing something so good and so new. And then they turned him into a joke. And now he's back to being Pete Dunne. So like the Netflix era might actually be very interesting to watch because like they're kind of resetting all of the BS that Vince McMahon pulled.
Yeah,
right.
Career killing gimmicks.
Yeah, like Butch. So I'm pretty excited about that kind of thing. Who?
Bearcat Lee for Keith Lee.
Bearcat Lee. The Viking Experience. They're now back to the War Raiders, which is finally.
Yeah,
right? Like
what they did Karrion Kross so dirty with the Roman gimp mask thing that he came out with.
But now he's back to being the good guy, and he's actually really funny on social media. Like he's a pretty interesting dude.
This Jesse Ventura impersonation is top tier.
Yes, it is. It really is. All right. Second Mount Rushmore is going to be metal bands.
Shit, that's a little tougher. I'd say for me, just because I grew up with them, A Day to Remember is my all-time favorite band. I know they get a lot of crap for not being like a full metal band or like they're pop punk or all that.
I actually don't think I've heard of them, so thank you.
Oh, really?
Yep,
okay.
You got me on that one.
Check out the Homesick album or What Separates You From Me. Those are two of the best. Their best albums in my opinion, or their two best. Though for those who have heart is also really good. But number two, again, just because like they played such a role in me getting into metal music is Slipknot, and also the Midwest Factor.
Mm-hmm.
I saw them live for the first time 2 years ago. Absolutely insane.
I've seen them a few times, and yeah, they are even in their 50s.
Yeah, they gotta be oldish. They gotta
killing it.
It's wild. I think Clown is 60 now.
Yep.
It's wild.
The 3 and 4 are always kind of revolving for me because like it comes in and out of things. Like if a band releases an album I don't like, they might drop for me. But probably Lorna Shore. I love Lorna Shore.
Fucking me too. Will Ramos is just S tier.
Oh yeah,
what he can do.
Their old vocalist Tom Barber was amazing.
Yes, he was. Yeah, like it was one of those things I heard about them because of Will Ramos. Just based on like what he can do is crazy.
Oh yeah, it's insane. It's absolutely insane.
And because I'm, into the vocalist aspect of a lot of metal, he came onto my scene. I found Lorna Shore with their EP, and then I went back and I was like, well, the other guy wasn't that bad either.
He's in Chelsea Grin now. If you haven't
who are also incredible.
Oh my god, I saw them live a couple years ago. They weren't opening, they were the headliner, but Carniflex also played with them. They were wild live too. And then number 4, Jesus. Just because I've been ripping them so much lately, I gotta go with Kubla Khan.
Yeah, that's coming up a lot.
Yeah, like it's I've been listening to them since the Nomad album, like from 2018. And it's just been wild, like to see how they've progressed and how they continue to grow a hardcore band as big as they have.
Yeah,
it's wild.
Yeah, that's come up a few times. I'm not too familiar with their stuff. Like they're on my radar, but I wouldn't say that I know them or I am a fan.
They're very. Sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
They're very like beat down hardcore, as their vocalist likes to put it. Caveman mosh shit.
Mm-hmm.
The Unga Bunga, as it's lovingly known as. So.
Yep. I was a huge Hatebreed fan when I was younger, and like that was where it just sounds like they're hitting their guitars. They're not just like playing them, but just hitting them.
Yeah. They just did a song with Jeremy Jasta.
I think I heard that because I was on Sirius, and I think that came across my weird thing. Whitechapel.
Oh,
their 2 new singles. Even like I've been talking to Ryan Erickson about it, and holy, like
Holy shit.
Whitechapel was on my radar years ago, and then I kind of got bored with them.
Yep.
Right? Like I think the Saw is the Law was the last time I cared about them. And then Visceral Wretch came out, and I was just like, who is this? Like, this isn't the same band that's been around for the past 8 years. That song is amazing. So is the Hymns of Dissonance or whatever the last one was.
Yeah, I listened to Whitechapel. I used to listen to Whitechapel quite a bit. Kind of like you said, I'd say I got bored with them, kind of fell off just for a couple years. Things ebb and flow, cycle in and out.
Yeah.
No, when I heard Visceral Wretch, I looked at it and it looked like a classic, like hardcore death metal, like just album cover. I'm like, oh, okay, let's see it. And I'm like, oh, they're heavy again.
Yeah.
They're heavy again. And then just wild.
I even said to my wife, I was like, I haven't been excited for an album since the last Tool album, like I am for this Whitechapel album. Like that's how good that song was. And please don't let me down. Please don't let me down.
Do you listen to Paleface at all?
I've heard of them, but I like the name is familiar, but I wouldn't say I couldn't name a song.
They're really good too. Their first album's kind of just because the mix on it sounds kind of garbled, but they've released some really, really, really good albums lately. It's all like just straight beat down, slam metal, heavy metal, all that shit. It's so much fun to listen to. So
hell yeah. Well, that's about all of that I have for Metal Talk now that Keith is zoned halfway out.
I'm alive, but I mean,
Keith is like, I like Pete Jennings.
Tommy, I want to hear before we move into the unpaid or underrated. I think the last thing that I really wanted to touch base on. I hear you're on the quest to find the best chicken sandwich. I want to hear who you're on that with, how the journey's going, and then possibly give me top 3 or so. I won't steal Mount Rushmore, but there's got to be maybe okay. So okay, no, I want to know top 2 mom and pop chicken sandwiches and top 2 chain chicken sandwiches, and then tell me about your journey in general.
So, I absolutely love fried chicken sandwiches. It's probably one of the reasons why I probably will never actually bodybuild. But
heard
that and Ben and Jerry's. But number 1. There's a microbrewery here in Minneapolis called Northbound Smokehouse, I believe. That was the absolute best fried chicken sandwich I've ever had. I actually went there after a Lorna Shore concert, so nice. Great night.
Sounds like it.
But then number 2, I'd have to another brewery, Surly Brewing Company over here has a like a Korean fried chicken one that's really really good too. Interesting. It's got like it's just fantastic. And then like chain wise,
you have to go chain like Chick-fil-A, Popeyes, etc., Bojangles, all that.
I've never had Popeyes, but
okay, you're not missing much.
Yeah. Honestly, like I'm not a big fan of fast food fried chicken just because
it's so like it could be literally any known restaurant that has like anything that's not a one-off, basically.
Scants. I know you're listening. We need to murder these boys with some Mary Browns. That's what we need to do. You don't like chain chicken? Mary Brown's chain chicken will change your mind.
The 2 that I would say that is kind of like a chain that I really like. Number 1 is Dave's Hot Chicken.
Oh hell yeah!
That just slaps every time you have it. And then Nashville Coop, which is a newer one up here in Minnesota. It's pretty solid.
Gotcha.
It's like Nashville hot chicken, and it's kind of the same thing with Dave's where you have the different heat levels. But
we have a Coop up here, and they're owned by a big chain restaurant, and they try to be independent, but they do deep fried deviled eggs.
I've heard you talk about those.
That's how.
Okay, so it's not the same Coop. Like I feel like if you saw that on the menu, you might have ordered it already. Okay, so it's not the same Coop.
Nope, I didn't see deep fried deviled eggs when I was there a few weeks ago.
Okay, so how is their chicken parm?
It didn't have it. It's all fried, it's all Nashville fried chicken, man.
Sorry, I just had to. Like it was one of those. We can't go.
Layup.
Yeah, I don't want to add 0 weeks.
Did you guys were you able to go to the circus? Why in either of your trips to Aberdeen and do the double dipped wings that they so fondly talk about?
Oh yeah, they're great. It's a good time. It's a good time at the circus. So it's funny is because like we walked in there and like it's like in a small like in a like TV show in a small town where everyone turns and looks at you like who the
Oh
hell
yeah,
are these guys?
yeah.
You got like 20 people walking in that they've never seen before, and it's like who the fuck are these guys? So, but yeah, circus is very good. It's a good time. If you haven't gone there, get there.
So I do have one more thing I want to mention too. So we were all at Crew Falls together. Everyone was happy at the first bar for the most part, and all these young kids from the lifting department kept on going, oh, we want to go bar hop, we want to go bar hop. So they finally drug us out of there. I swear I don't think I saw you at the second fucking bar before you guys had already left, and I'm assuming you were at the third or fourth bar by the time we even got to the second bar, you sons of bitch. You made us walk all the way across that cold ass town, and then I don't even think I don't know if you guys were playing pool or what, but I don't think we saw you at all once I got there.
We were in the back playing pool and
Okay.
not very well. So and I got really frustrated with the boys. I'm not even gonna lie because they were trying to play like professional billiard rules, and I literally just said, "We're a bunch of drunk assholes in a bar. Let's play.
You gotta call your shot. That's a
Oh,
scratch.
oh my god!
It's
I was getting so irritated.
like midnight and you're trying to call your shots, but you're one eyeing it anyway.
I'm only playing shit pool. Like fuck off.
Yeah.
Like if I got lucky and the ball went in, fuck you. That counts.
Yeah, if it was ping pong, it might have been a different story. I enjoy ping pong a lot more. So,
Drunk ping pong?
oh yeah, hell yeah.
Jeez, put him in the Squid Games.
Did you watch season 2 of that?
Yeah, I just finished it last night. It's
wasn't
half the
bad.
reason I was a hungover mess today because I was like, I only got 2 more episodes left. I can stay awake. I should not have stayed awake.
I did that probably about a month or so ago, maybe. And I think I watched the first half. I think I actually did it all in one sitting, which was a lot. All I know is it was like 3 o'clock by the time I turned the fucking computer off, and I was like, "Mother!" I was so mad at myself too. I was like, "I'm just gonna watch one more episode because it's gonna get to a climactic scene and actually explain everything and not be a fucking cliffhanger." Like, no spoiler alerts, but like, yeah, fucking cliffhanger. Fuck you.
Yeah, it's a half season.
Yeah, so that's at least there. It'll be back within a year, which is good.
Dicks.
So.
I had a similar experience with that one with Breaking Bad when the final season came out on Netflix. Like I got into Breaking Bad during the last season. So like I intentionally tried not to watch anything that was coming live like the final episode. So I watched it all like months afterwards. And I remember I was in my dorm room and I had just got done studying for a test. And I'm like, I'll see what's on Netflix. I'll just do that and go to bed. And they had the final like 5 episodes of season 5 part B. And I watched that entire fucking thing. I went to bed at like 3 a.m. and my test was at 7.
Yep. Every time.
Just terrible time.
Yep.
Well, let's go into unpaid and underrated, shall we?
Yeah. Yep. So I'll try to explain this one better. So I'm gonna get this game we like to play, Tommy. So very similar to what the sisters play over there. Our own little twist on it. Instead of overrated, we call it unpaid or underrated. So anything you don't really like, go ahead and call it unpaid. Anything that's pretty awesome, we'll go underrated. We got several handpicked topics just for you. We'll go through as many as we can until we get bored with you. And I'm gonna hit you with unpaid or underrated living with your parents.
Oh shit.
Called out. Damn it.
Oh god. What a preface. I am looking at buying a house. I'm not a complete degenerate. But that's one where you want to ride the line with it because it's like the perfect one, but
Yeah.
it's kind of underrated because you're like for me it's been able to kind of like rebuild like or develop like rebuild like my connection or my relationship with them and also save money. So we'll make buying a house a little bit easier in a year or two here. So we'll see what happens.
Awesome. Underrated. I dig it. Let's see. Unpaid or underrated Sam Darnold.
Oh God. Unpaid. He's going to be unpaid after how he played those last 2 games of this year. Oh my Lord. He looked like a deer in the headlights.
Lost a big paycheck probably, but someone's gonna throw. It's probably gonna be the fucking Browns. It's gonna be my team is gonna throw a fucking 4-year contract with like top level fucking money or something at him. But I hope not.
You're a Cleveland Browns fan?
Die hard.
Oh, that explains the orange now that I think about it.
It's a contributing factor. I don't think it's the only factor, but yeah.
I think he'll probably end up with the Raiders or maybe the Giants. I think the Giants would be hilarious.
Both need quarterbacks, and there's only so many to draft.
True.
All right, so unpaid or underrated strongman.
I think it's underrated in the fact that it provides a different avenue of training for people that like to lift heavy or do strength training as opposed to, like, being in the bodybuilding scene like that. So I'd say it's underrated in that sense. And it's something I've definitely gotten more interested in since Crew Falls.
Yeah, what's your intention with that? Because I know Diet Tanner has done a couple of shows or is in, trains it to some extent. I can't imagine Nas is doing a whole lot of strongman training at 5'4", but maybe.
I don't know if he's that short.
I mean,
like I'm 5'4", and I'm
he's
doing
probably.
strongman
I think he's
training.
my height, so it's more just. I know I struggle with strongman specifically for being a shorty. So
my plan with it, like, well, right now, obviously, like, being in prep at this point for Lift Hard, Live Easy 3. I don't really have like a super big goal with it, but I'd like to start implementing more of it into training afterwards, just because I think things like, like yoke walk, log press, or log clean and press, shield carries, all that is a lot of fun. And I think it would just be a nice change up with training, instead of just, constantly, oh, hey, I'm going to go and deadlift a single and then do a back down set,
It's definitely fun. I think you'll find some enjoyment with it, even if you just sprinkle it in a little bit here and there.
I think Ronnie might talk me into doing a comp.
They're awesome.
I could even talk you into it because, like, I've started doing it on Juggernaut, and yesterday, because I was sick, I wasn't able to get through it all. But, like, just even you're not doing your top set and then some back offs. I'm loading up Juggernaut, and Juggernaut's like, oh, do 5 deadlifts at, this weight. And you're like, fuck, that's an easy weight. Why is this even programmed? But the moment you hit submit, it adds 40 pounds or 50 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And then do the same thing with those weights, and then do the same thing with those weights. And you're just suddenly like, I've never done this. I've only ever done heavy singles 3 to 5 reps max. Now I'm suddenly doing 8 reps. Or AMRAP reps. Even AMRAP reps was murder on me. I did the squats. I couldn't do the deadlifts yesterday, just like I said, because my lungs were on fire. But, like, doing AMRAP 350 deadlifts at 158 pounds or whatever, I was just like, I want to do this. This is so much more interesting than do a single and then do some back offs. But also, I've been powerlifting for like 4 years. So it's just something so different. But again, like I said earlier in this episode, most strongmen can do powerlifting. Most powerlifters couldn't easily transition to strongman. So, keeping your conditioning up isn't the worst. It's cardio, basically. Eight fucking squats, eight reps. I'm not doing 8 reps. And then you do it and you're like, actually, that was awesome. That felt amazing.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to sneak one more. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, please do. I was going to say, do you have any more you want to do?
Yeah, I want to sneak one more in just in case we don't miss it. So, because it's going to be a funny story. So, unpaid or underrated, the bathroom, specifically the showers at your Airbnb from Lift Hard Live Easy 1 in 2023.
Oh, God.
So set the scene for us, because I remember the picture vividly, and it was the funniest fucking thing ever. So let the listeners that might not be familiar paint them a picture of your Airbnb bathroom.
All right, so it was one of the weirdest bathrooms I think I've ever seen in my life. It's like, is this? It looks like the mix of like a shower room in like a prison is the only thing I could think of, I guess. Like, it looks like a prison room, but then off to the left, there's like there's like 2 or 3 toilets off to the side. So it's just like, why are there toilets here? But there's nothing,
there's no bird shields.
Take it off. And then there's just this big platform, like, you have to walk up onto to like get to shower. And then there's 3 or 4 stalls in it. And all of us are just like, what the hell is this? And then after we got back from spotting and loading, and after, a couple of brewskis or 2, we decided to spot a drink while it was happening in the shower, thankfully with lift jorts on. So nothing scandalous, I guess would be the word. I don't know.
That's great.
But it was pretty trippy walking in, and that Airbnb in general was pretty cool, but
It was
also
above
really
a bar or above some kind of business or something, wasn't it?
a hair salon.
Okay.
It was like you walk upstairs and it's a big open hallway, and then there's just this massive like living room area with a big like island and a stove, a sink, and then you go down the other way and there's like a bunch of like bedrooms that also look like they're photo shoot rooms. So it's like, what the hell is this place?
Very interesting. So unpaid or underrated? Then I think we buried the lead.
Underrated. As weird as it was hilarious, and it's a good story.
Yeah, that's something you'll never forget. I'm sure you've told that story more than once. So
and at least it had beds.
Yeah. Unlike the well, I mean, Big Matt always gets his bed when he books an Airbnb. There's no one else gets one.
All right, my turn. Unpaid or underrated GNC?
Oh God, unpaid, and both that it sucks and that it doesn't pay you well.
Nice.
I worked there for too long while I was trying to go back to school and pay for school out of pocket. Some good memories there, but at the same time, like, God, did that place. It's soul sucking.
Yeah. There's not a lot of them in Canada, but I do recall that most of the times I go there and there's like somebody trying to give me supplemented advice, and I don't think they've lifted a weight in their life.
Yeah. Like,
I was like, you're either an 80-year-old woman or you're a 30-year-old dude that's never touched a weight. And I'm just like, I just want energy drinks, man. And it's like, oh, you should check out this. And I was like, no, I'm not going to check out this. Like, I actually lift weights. Like, can you not, like, well, you can't upsell me on this test supplement.
I was just about to say, you didn't want to spend $200 on a pill for testosterone booster?
No. All right.
I had some dudes swear by those when they would come in. And I'm like, whatever. I get $5 every time I sell you one, so buy them all you want. I don't care.
Oh, there was a commission kind of based job. Fuck that.
For a while it was, and then like right around 2018, they changed it to a different style, and then they took away the commission completely. So you had to hit a sales plan. And this was during the pandemic, so it's like no one was really bonusing. So it's like, dude, this is so lame.
All right. Unpaid or underrated? White Monsters.
Underrated.
Thanks.
Like, there is not a better tasting energy drink to me. Like I have to switch it up just so that way I have different ones to, you gotta have different, you have to have options, but you can never beat the tried and true.
So good.
It really is. I'm a Ghost person myself. Like, I drink mostly Ghost energy drinks, just so I can get my creatine and all the other nootropics that they put in. But like here in Canada, they're hard to get. So my go-to is the White Monsters. They really are.
Underrated flavor for them is the green one, in my opinion. The green one.
I hate that. And the black can with the green M. Oh, it tastes like.
Oh no, not that.
No, that's the OG. No, there's like a lime one or something.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was gonna say that OG
it's almost
awful.
It's like the can itself is fully green. Maybe it's in like a fucking gummy bear or something. Actually, maybe.
I think
that's
like
rain.
Strawberry kiwi.
Okay, that's right. I've had a lot of the flavors, even the orange I don't love because they're weird. They're not just like this is gonna taste like grape and this is gonna take like orange. It's like all like multiple twists to it. But the white one is just fucking perfect. Whatever concoction it actually tastes like, it's literally just fucking bliss in a can.
Is it just cream soda?
I don't even know what I would compare the flavor to.
I think it's grapefruit.
Jeez,
that can't be right.
That feels not right, but kind of.
I know.
But I don't want to argue it. Like, I don't want to. Like, it could be.
It's just perfect. It's just like.
Yep, perfect amount of caffeine. Yeah. There's a song actually. If you get a chance, Keith, you would like it more. It's called "Circle K" by Ricky Chilton. Give that one a listen. Because he just talks about being zooted on White Monsters. It's fucking hilarious.
Fucking zooted, I hate
I love that word. I was saying the other day, like, I'm so happy that Tanner brought that into our lives again.
that might be one of my favorite random things about Massonomics is all of a sudden like one or two words will just be beat to death for like a week or two with the memes, and it just never ends with it being funny.
Yeah, so like he put out the zooted meme, and then I made a joke and I was like, "Oh, we're using foul language now," and I got attacked so hard by randoms because they're like, "Are you fucking stupid? There's no swear words," and I was like, "Oh, we're just gonna say zooted and pretend it's not a swear word," and they're just like, and they would like come at me so mean, and of course, me being the time wasting vampire that I am, as all the what we do in the shadows talk is, I am an energy vampire when I want to be.
Which character is that?
I can picture him.
I can too. Colin,
yeah.
Colin.
And he's
the worst.
But I can do that when I need to. Like I can totally
leave me alone, you fuck.
I can totally suck your soul and waste your time by just pretending I don't know what you're talking about, and I can do it for hours, and it's the best. And I did that on the zooted meme, and ever since then I've just loved the phrase zooted because I'm just like, yeah. All right, unpaid or underrated, The Rock.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
No,
are we talking the movies Rock or as the wrestler?
No, I'm talking Dwayne The Rock Johnson. The Rock, whatever you want to take that as. He's not listening, so don't hold back.
I mean,
I think he's a little mad at this point, a little bit, because he only really plays the same character in like every movie, which sometimes seeing the same character in a movie is cool because it's like, oh, hey, like he's just going to be a badass that doesn't get anything bad happen to him. But I saw this meme where it's like, this is The Rock from 4 different movies, and he's wearing like the exact same clothes. It's like, oh, he's going on a jungle expedition or something.
Jungle outfit. Yeah, I saw that.
But I will say his run right now with the final boss character is very underrated. I think that's fantastic.
Yep, I would say the same thing. I would make a bit of a counter argument based on the action movie thing, because you have Liam Neeson, Bruce Willis, Chuck Norris, like all action stars except for Keanu Reeves. They all play the same character all the time, every time. Especially Bruce Willis and Liam Neeson. Like
Taken series?
What's that?
Like Taken?
Yeah. Like my impression of Liam Neeson is, I don't want to kill people anymore, but now I have to kill a bunch of people. And that's every movie he's ever been in.
I just read an article that he had to he's gonna quote unquote retire from action movies. He's still gonna act.
Well, he can't do them anymore.
I know, because he's fucking 75.
Yeah, it's like 80 edits per scene. It's insane. But they still keep giving him roles. And I think that every action star is kind of that, right? Yeah. Again, except for Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves, whole new ballpark on that one. But yeah, I think that's going to round out my unpaid and underrated. I think you passed.
All right, good shit.
Hell yeah, brother.
Well, have you anything come to mind you wanted to ask us, or anything you wanted to do to close this out with us?
I guess what my question would be is, with the podcast, what's been the most enjoyable thing? What's been the hardest part of it?
So least fun, most fun, hosting unpaid and underrated.
Yes,
essentially.
I can go. No, go ahead, Keith.
I'm literally just I beat it with a dead horse. Like, the whole point of this podcast for me is to bring people together. I feel that we do that to some extent, getting people to know each other. So when they do see each other in person, like that whole experience. And even if I help one or two crew who have social anxiety talk to someone either in person or online because they heard something on the podcast that resonated with them, like that will emphatically always be the most fun to me, because that's us actually making an impact. Granted, I love recording, I love laughing, I love shooting the shit with the guys and the homies and the cookies, the chocolate chips, all that, that's awesome. But nothing is gonna this podcast is leaving a mark on our community, and we're actually helping people get to know each other better. So to me, that will always be the best part about it specifically. But it's all around fun. And I can think on the worst if Joey wants to go with something.
Most fun is the friends I made along the way.
Yeah.
And I know that that's a running joke, but it is kind of I talk to Keith and Nate every day. The only people I talk to as often are the people I work with at work and my wife. And seeing the growth of, sorry, Keith, I'm going to talk about you like you're not here for a second.
That's fine.
Like even Keith came out of his shell because of this podcast. Like he's become just a more extroverted and more engaged person from what I can see, getting to know Nate, but then specifically getting to know everybody. Like Big Jen, brought me a birthday present at Crew Falls, and she brought me those socks that have the Fiend on them. They're Bray Wyatt socks. Yeah. And I think I had mentioned once that my last pair broke and we don't know how to repair them and how sad I was. And we don't know how to replace them. And then I show up to Sioux Falls at Tommy's house and she hands me a pair of fucking Fiend socks. And just like knowing that this person lives on the other side of the country, in another country, on the other side of the continent, and found something that means that much to me because of what we do here. That was amazing. To me, again, it's that connection, it's the friendships. Going to Los Campeones and knowing 89% of the people lifting.
For real.
Right? Seeing Daniel walk around, hey buddy, I know you're listening, and only like attempting a couple lifts and not asking why, knowing why. Because I just talked to him 3 weeks ago. Why is this person over here doing that lift? Well, I know why, because I already talked to them. To me, that is the best part of this. And also getting to hype up Massonomics, which is going to lead into the worst part. I'm going to go to the Arnold in a month, and I have to be, excuse me, on. That is hard. That is hard. It was hard at Crew Falls. It was hard at Lift Hard, Live Easy, and it's going to be hard at the Arnold. It's masking to be that version of you that is representing both Unpaid and Underrated and Massonomics. So I'm going to have to be social. I'm going to have to be friendly. I'm going to have to be accessible. Whereas like the first year I went to the Arnold, I was a nobody and I could hide and it was awesome. I can't really do that anymore. And that I think is the hardest part for me is just having to like self-monitor, because I'm not like, shockingly, I'm not a nice person or a generally outgoing person. But because of what we do here, I have to be. And because I like what we do here so much, it has to translate. I can either stop doing this and go back to that version of me, or I can keep doing this and be that version of me. I don't hate that version of me, but it gets hard. That's why like at Crew Falls, I was in bed by 8:00. And that wasn't because I was of any other reason other than I was fucking tired of just like being that outgoing version of me. And it just grates on you. I think that would be not that I don't want to stop. I love this. My job is this. I literally do sales. I am an outgoing, extroverted, friendly person every day. But just like sometimes, like, sometimes on the Massonomics posts, I want to fucking bully somebody for saying something stupid. Like I want to call them names and all, but it's just like, you can't do that because they click on your profile. There's Unpaid and Underrated, which is tied directly to Massonomics. And like, you have to be careful of that. So that learning to be nice as a second language is fucking hard.
I'm definitely going to relate with a lot of that. If I have to specifically put the least fun thing to it or the worst part about it, as you put it, I'll cheat a little bit and do a two-parter. For one, it's going to be just the burden it causes on my, my home life with my wife and just the, trying to record a podcast for 2 to 3 hours in a spare bedroom with like only one wall between where my wife's trying to sleep and she goes to bed 2 hours ago. So some nights she can fall asleep before we record and she doesn't hear me at all until, I go into bed. And then other nights she's like, I fucking heard you all night long, you son of a bitch, and you ruined my night. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. That's so like, that is a big burden. I don't think she had any clue this fucking thing was going to last 2 years. Like, and have no end in sight. Like, we're going to go until we run out of crew or till Tommy and Tanner break up. Like, that's just going to be it. Secondary worst part, I guess, would be just not having the energy, the time, or the motive. I guess the energy. I wish we could put more into content, not podcast related, but
Yeah.
I'm never gonna have the we won't, honestly. Like, I will say we will, but like, unless crew will step up and do it with us and like do like 90% of it, it won't happen. Like, Joey and Nate and I have, our plates are overfilled already. So if anyone wants more unpaid and underrated content, you have to pretty much make it yourself on our behalf. So that's kind of where we're at. Like, I did a couple videos for Megan this week just because I was so, essentially, like, I loved her episode. She was such a, it was one of the most enjoyable episodes I think we've done in a long time. So like, I wanted to put more effort into that. I'm not saying that the other episodes we've done aren't enjoyable. I don't know, something about that kind of, I felt a couple things she said I wanted to get out there into the world, and the balloon tattoo needed to be seen by the masses. So, but just in general, not being able to put as much effort into it as I'd like, because we put as much effort into it, I think, as we can for, you know, unlike Tommy and Tanner, who get a financial boon from everything they do, podcast related, we don't get that. So this is just at the sheer enjoyment of what we do. And like, every, the hours we put into this a week is from our sheer enjoyment. So I don't have more time to give to it. So if the podcast is literally just very basic, or if the Instagram is just very basic stuff and like, some stories and shit that I share, like, that's all we're going to get. But I wish we could do more, basically.
I'm not a content creator. I'm not good at it. I'm not good at editing. The last video I posted of my deadlifts, I fucking forgot to take out my audio. So you can literally hear my music over the audio I overlaid. Like, I'm not good at that kind of thing, and I don't plan to be. So I can see what you're saying, Keith, because it's like, it's just not easy. And it's, I've got 2 kids and a wife and a job, and I want to lift and I want to do things that aren't, I give 5 to 10 hours a week to unpaid and underrated, but that's on top of the 50 hours to my job, the 40 hours to my kids. Like, there's only so many hours in a week, so I can see what you're saying there.
And then when I do like throw a reel up and it gets like 30 likes, I'm like, all right, this doesn't, like, I don't need to put any, like, when it's like the random shit will get 200 likes or something, and then like the stuff that we put effort into gets nothing. It's like, I won't put effort into this anymore. I think the Instagram just is what it is, and people keep asking for us to go like real videos on YouTube, but I'm like, 2 people are going to watch it, so that's probably never going to happen either. Like, it will never happen unless we get on StreamYard and get a whole different setup to where it's easier, because Nate does go in every week and edit the audio file, so we're not going to match that with the video file, and I don't want 2 separate things out there. So it's just, I don't know, but I love this thing. I love what we do. This is great. It's the hobby and pastime, and I guess almost it's not a midlife crisis, but it's like that thing like midlife people find to fill their time. It's like, I guess it's more just, it's midlife crisis isn't the right term, but like finding a all-consuming hobby as a fucking 39-year-old like isn't something that I had on my bingo card for 2024 or 2023, I think, when we started it. So like, I don't know. I never saw this twist of fate, and here we are, and it's, it's a blast. I love it.
But can't stop, won't stop.
We're here. I'm here for the long run. So
good question.
I need them to be successful so we can continue to do what we enjoy, because this is a part of my life I don't want to give up.
Yeah, essentially our job is to feed Massonomics like customers and money so that they continue to give us supporting members to interview on this podcast. Like, it's it's an unlimited hack, right?
Yeah, it's the human centipede.
Oh. Damn it.
Oh god, someone make a meme of that with a whole fucking
you said it and you didn't even realize what you were saying.
I did. Oh, that's great. All
right. Yeah, let I'm gonna do the outro this time, because last week you said you might want me to do them. So where do we find you guys? Tommy, you go first.
You find me at
the affiliates, but that works.
No, shut up. My turn.
You can find me at Tommy_Schneider22.
Also, Tommy_Stapler. Keith, where do we find you, buddy?
Keith Honeycutt 73 on Instagram. Don't forget to go follow my Orange Gym, the No Wine Cellar.
And you can find me at Joey_Malesko, MLECZKO. That spelling has saved me increments amount of time. Don't forget about our affiliates now. We've got Obsidian. You probably saw some comments on the last Obsidian post about the people begging them for free stuff and me being like, I wish I was sponsored. It's an interesting thing because
I
like,
love that he roasts the people all the time.
oh yeah. But like not a lot
He's
of people have Obsidian sponsors. And I do. I happen to have 2 codes, which is unpaid and lift bearded. So like keep using those codes, man. A lot of White Monster stuff, so go check out their stuff. Barbell Rescue, again, great friend of the podcast. He's going to give you 10%. So order yourself a brush and a refill to save yourself the shipping. You got Plate Snacks, who does our unpaid and underrated banner that you can see behind Keith's head there. But they will do any custom banners, and I kind of get the feeling our code works on all of their stuff. You've got Home Gym Con, Belt Fed Strength. If you're going to go and buy a shirt, like the Don't Buy Our Cats shirt from Strength Co Apparel, this is crew specific. So if you're not crew and you're listening, you want to use it, don't. This is for the crew. They'll give you 10% off any of their apparel. So that's hats, shirts, not the plates. Freedom Fitness is on there as well. Correct. And am I missing anybody?
No, that's it. Those are our friends. They support us and we support you, etc.
Yeah, big shout out to Belt Fed as well. They're trying to do a little different on their Instagram. I've been chatting with Chris lately, so love those guys. And with that, Keith,
we'll see you next Tuesday.